Hello students. In today's lecture we are going to study about MQTT, which is again a part of IoT, that is Internet of Things. Uh, in this lecture we will have an overview about MQTT, that is Message Queue Telemetry Transport Protocol, and why it is used, about its features. We are also going to study what are its features, why it is so important nowadays, why it is being used widely nowadays in IoT environment. MQTT, as I told you, it is a protocol. You can say it is a communication protocol between the two devices. Whenever we need to establish a communication between two devices, for that we will be needing a protocol for to communicate between the two devices. So MQTT is one of the famous protocol which is used nowadays. Basically MQTT stands for Message Queue Telemetry Transport Protocol. Now as I told you, MQTT is a machine to machine IoT connectivity protocol, and it is more suitable for a IoT environment, IoT based environment, or in a network where we have created an IoT network. In those networks MQTT plays an important role. Now MQTT, the main feature of MQTT protocol is it is very light in weight. It is a lightweight protocol, and it is suitable for published subscriber network protocols that basically is used for transporting messages between the devices, right? So whenever there is a protocol in which we need to transfer messages between the devices, or where we need to establish a connection between the devices, there a MQTT protocol is used. Now this protocol basically is suitable for the transport layer. It is a transport layer protocol, and it is used for the used in the case of transport layer. Now whenever we are talking about one-to-one communication, of machine-to-machine communication in any IoT based environment, this protocol will be a suitable one and is preferred by many of the organization, many of the publishers. Now the data transmission rate in MQTT is also very fast. We can take the example which we use nowadays, like WhatsApp messaging, Facebook messaging. We all use WhatsApp messaging, we all use Facebook messaging. So these are the apps where MQTT has been implemented and are being used widely. So it is a live example where we can see that as we send a message, for example, if I am using a WhatsApp, I am sending a personal message to my friend, then what happens, as I am sending the message is reaching to my friend, and the message is not delivering to the other person. It is a personal protocol. If I want to send a personal message to my friend, that message will be delivered only to my friend, and no other friend will be able to view that particular message. So this is the live example or live application in which MQTT protocol is used. Coming on to the next, like talking about the MQTT components. MQTT basically consists of four main components: message, client, server or broker. A server is also known as broker, and the topic. Starting with the message one, what exactly message is? Message is nothing but it is a data carried by the MQTT protocol across the network for the application. Like whenever we need to transfer a data across the network, that by using MQTT protocol, so that message data is nothing but a message. So whenever a message is transported by a MQTT, or we can say whenever a data is transferred between the two devices by the MQTT, it is nothing but it is a message, and it consists of payload data, quality of service. It has certain properties also, and it has a topic name. In further slowly will gradually will move on to the topic name, what is topic, but as of now you just need to understand what message is. So whenever we are talking about messages, it is a data which is carried out basically across the network between the application through on the MQTT protocol. So if we are talking about message, it is nothing but the data which is transferred between the two devices. Now if we are talking about client, the second component, as I told you, is the client. So all the connecting devices in the MQTT protocol. If for example, if there is my small IoT based network, and I have implemented a MQTT protocol, then all the connected devices, whatever devices I have connected to that particular network, all those devices are known as clients. So these clients are nothing but the end devices which want to transfer data, which want to communicate with each other basically. Now these devices communicate with the server, which is referred to as broker. We can refer a server as a broker, or you can refer it as broker only. So broker and server both are one and the same thing, and what its role is, whenever the client wants to communicate with each other, they need to pass, or they need to communicate through a server or a broker. They can't communicate directly, instead they need to communicate with the help of a broker. So what is the role of broker? In this case, the broker handles the task of data transmission between the clients. So whenever there has to be a communication between the clients, or whenever we need to initiate a communication between the two devices or the two clients, the role of broker basically comes into existence. The broker handles the task of data transmission very effectively, because it is the role of broker who has to decide that the message which the broker is getting from the publisher, that message from to which client that message has to be given. So basically in this scenario, in this particular MQTT architecture, whenever a client which is known as publisher wants to distribute any information or wants to send any information, or in other words you can say whenever a publisher wants to publish any particular data or any particular information, then it is the broker who is going to send this message to the client that have subscribed to that particular message. In this case, I would like to give you an example of a YouTube. What happens in YouTube? For example, there is a cooking channel in YouTube. Okay, you can take the example of YouTube, where YouTube will act as a broker. What YouTube is a mediator between the publisher and the subscriber. What we do, being a client, for example, I am a client and I want to see a cooking channel. Then what I need to do, if I like that cooking channel, I usually subscribe to that channel. So I am a subscriber, or you can say that I am a client, right? And there must be a owner of the cooking channel, or the person who is running the cooking channel, who is posting his or her videos in the YouTube. That particular channel, or that particular person who is posting his or her YouTube videos on cooking, that particular video or that particular channel is known as publisher. So there are two components. One is the channel which is publishing the videos or publishing the data, that is known as publisher, and other one is the client or the subscriber, you can say. That, like I took the example of myself, I am the client, I have subscribed to a cooking channel, so I will be a subscriber. So in this case, whenever a particular data or a particular video is published by a particular particular publisher, that video has to be sent to a particular client. Which client? Only to that client who has subscribed to that particular channel. That is the job of basically a YouTube. What YouTube does, YouTube will send a notification to me only if I have subscribed to that cooking channel. And if suppose my friend is there and he has not subscribed to that particular cooking channel, then YouTube is not going to send him the notification. Okay, so YouTube is performing the role of a broker over here, and YouTube will send notification to the client, only to that client who have subscribed to that particular channel. That is the for that purpose MQTT protocol is basically used in that scenario, where a publisher and a subscriber plays an important role. So in these types of scenarios, MQTT protocol and architecture is created. So in this case, whenever a client wants to distribute, a client as a publisher, okay, now whenever a publisher wants to distribute information, it will publish a particular topic. The broker will then send this information to the client, to the specific client, that client who has subscribed to that topic. Okay, so the client who has subscribed to that topic are known as subscribers. As I told you earlier in our YouTube example, I will be a subscriber because I have subscribed to the cooking channel. Same way, the cooking channel, whosoever is posting his or her video, that channel is known as publisher. So in such environment, in such scenario where a publisher and a subscriber exists, in such scenario MQTT protocol can be used. Okay, now next coming the publisher, what does the publisher do? The publisher does not need any data on the number or the location of the subscriber. In turn, subscribers do not need any data about the publisher. Any client can be a publisher and or a subscriber or both. If I am a subscriber to a channel, it is not that the case that I can't be a publisher. I can start my own channel, I can post my own video. So being a subscriber, I am also a publisher, and I can perform the role of both, that is a publisher and a subscriber also. The clients are typically not aware of each other, only of the broker that serves as intermediary. This setup is also popularly known as pub/sub model, which is a short form of publisher/subscriber model. So MQTT protocol is widely used in these particular environment or protocol where publisher and subscriber model takes place. Now the message I was talking about, like when a data is transferred or message is transferred to a broker, it will be a job of a broker to distribute that particular message to the client, and it will distribute that message, or it will give the notification only to those client who have subscribed to that particular channel. As that we have already discussed about the client will publish to the topics to publish and receive messages. Now whatever the messages, for example, if I want to being a subscriber, I want to view all the YouTube videos posted on my cooking on others cooking channel, and I want to be keep updated. So what I have done, I have subscribed to that channel. So ultimately what I have done, I have subscribed to the topic. Okay, and topic was cooking channel. So topic is nothing but the name of the channel, or you can say name of the message to which I have subscribed. I have subscribed to the cooking channel. For example, I have subscribed to a comedy show. Then comedy show will be the name on which comedy show. For example, it is Arya's comedy show. So I have subscribed to Arya's comedy show. So Arya's comedy show will be nothing but it will be a you can say it will be a topic to which I have subscribed. Okay, so topic is nothing but it is a data or to which the client or the subscriber has to be subscribed. So basically if we are talking particularly about topic is nothing but it is a kind of label which is attached to a message, which is again match against the subscription known to the server, because server or broker has all the information about all the clients who have subscribed to that particular channel. Okay, now that particular channel, for subscribing to that channel, every subscriber has to attach one label to the message indicating that I have subscribed to that particular topic. Okay, so topic is nothing, it is a label which is attached to a message, and that label has to be matched against the subscription known to the server. Then only the server will be able to match that this particular client has subscribed to the channel or not. Okay, coming on to the role of server or broker, as we have discussed, server or broker is a program or device that acts as an intermediary between the client which are acting as a publisher, and obviously between the client which are acting as a subscriber. So client are performing both the roles. They are performing the role of subscriber also, and they are performing the roles of publisher also. So what is a server or broker? It is an intermediary part or intermediate device which acts in between the publisher and a subscriber, which basically performs the role of communication between the publisher and a subscriber. Coming on to the roles of broker and server, which is again a very important part. What it does, it accepts network connection from client, because without which communication does not take place. It accepts network messages published by clients. Obviously, if I am a publisher, I am running a cooking channel, then what I'll do, I'll publish my video and I'll send a message to the broker, who you can take the example of a YouTube. If I'm publishing a channel or publishing a video on my YouTube, then what I am doing, I am basically publishing a message on that particular client. Okay, so basically the role of the broker or the role of the server will be to establish a network connection between the clients. Okay, the next and the most important role of a client is to forward the messages, whatever messages the client has published or the publisher has published. That messages, obviously the server has to forward it to some client, and that is the most important role of the server of the or the broker, you can say, to forward the messages to the client, and it will forward those messages to only those clients who are already subscribed. The clients which are not subscribed, they are not eligible to get the messages, and it is the job of the server to make sure that the client which are not subscribed, they should not receive the messages or the notification of the uploaded videos. Okay, so this was basically the role of the server. Coming on to label, as I have already told you, that label topic is nothing but it is a label basically which is attached with the message, and this message is then compared with the against the subscription of the server. So whenever a publisher a video is launched from by a publisher, the subscriber is going to subscribe to that video through a message, and that message, with the message a label is attached which is known as topic. So topic is nothing but it is a label which is attached with the message, and it is main use for subscription to the server. Okay, so I hope I am clear with this topic, what MQTT is. Now whenever we are talking about MQTT, it has many applications. As I told you, we can use it in WhatsApp Messenger, we can use in Facebook messengers. Nowadays Amazon Web Services are widely using it. It is frequently used in Amazon Web Services because it is making them easier to detect the client's choice, and accordingly they can send the messages. For example, if I am logging into Amazon site and I am searching for a pen drive of 4 GB, for example, I am searching for a Sony pen drive of 4 GB which is not available right now, then what I am going to do, I am just going to log out of the Amazon account. Next time whenever I am going to log in, or if I have just registered with my mobile number, then what happens, Amazon Web Services will give me a notification that pen drive of 4 GB of Sony is available right now and you can now purchase. So this is a protocol which is being used in Amazon Web Services to particularly to deliver messages to the client, and accordingly the client can take their action. So even in Facebook messengers MQTT is being used, even in WhatsApp Messenger MQTT protocol is being implemented. So we have a wide variety of applications where MQTT protocol is being used. Now as we discuss right now that what about the topic, what topic is, I hope it is quite clear to you what topic is. In a further lecture, in our next lecture, we will be discussing about types of topic, because if we are communicating, if two devices are communicating, if publisher and subscriber are communicating or sending messages, then the most important thing is it depends upon the type of topic, and type of topic will basically decide which type of data the client needs. So how it is going to decide what are the different categories which are considered under the topic. that we will discuss in our next lecture. Along with the topic, we will also discuss about SMQTT, which is again a very and advanced version of MQTT. You can say it is a more secure message queue protocol. So like MQTT, SMQTT is also widely used nowadays. So I hope you are all clear with the topic, today's topic. In further lectures we'll discuss, next lecture will discuss about SMQTT, about topic types and how they plays an important role for communication between the publisher and subscriber. That's all for today. See you in my next lecture. Thank you.